The old Fairview airfield had once launched bombers into Europe. Now its cracked runways were polished into shooting lanes, the concrete whitewashed so bright it could blind a hawk. Flags snapped in the Wyoming wind, carrying the scent of jet fuel, sagebrush, and fresh-oiled steel. Spotlights ringed the place like an interrogation room for the sky. They called it the Iron Range, and only the highborn, the decorated, and the obscenely sponsored were supposed to squeeze a trigger here. Spectators in carbon fiber chairs sipped barrel-aged rye as if it were communion wine. Generals compared war stories. Venture capitalists compared yacht lengths. Socialites just compared. On the 40-foot billboard, looping footage of Marcus Eagle Wren, 10 rapid bullseyes at 300 meters, played on repeat, a moving Saints icon. Wren himself paced behind the line, sharp in graphite fatigues, exchanging fist bumps with men who had never smelled cordite, except as an aftershave note. Then, Lana Forge walked in from the service gate. No entourage, no sponsor patches, just a charcoal jumpsuit smeared with engine grease. She lugged a canvas duffel that looked like it had survived 3 floods and a small war. Her boots were steel-toe, but the leather was flaking. Every step left a breadcrumb of dust. A pair of junior influencers zoomed phones on her like she was street art. "Mechanic's entrance is over there," one laughed, jerking a manicured thumb toward the maintenance shed. Lana didn't answer. She just kept walking, brown eyes half-lidded, as if saving every blink for something that mattered. Registration was a glass pavilion shaped like a watchtower. A hostess in a slate-gray suit formed a smile that never touched her mascara. Corporate division, military division, or exhibition? Lana laid a folded letter on the counter. Grease fingerprints smeared the embossed crest of the Iron Range Invitational. The hostess's smile twitched. "Open slot courtesy of... Who even signed this?" "Chief Armorer," Lana murmured. One lane over, Marcus Wren caught the exchange. He cocked his head, predatory curiosity flickering. "Armorer got sentimental, sent his pet wrench-turner to play soldier," he remarked to the small crowd orbiting him. Their laughter tumbled across the check-in desk like loose brass. Lana unzipped her duffel. Out came an M39 rifle whose Parkerized finish had been sanded patchy bare. The wooden stock was veneered with scratches and a hairline crack glued tight by some midnight epoxy job. She shouldered it, and for a heartbeat, the whole pavilion went quietly carnivorous, everyone weighing the comedy potential. Colonel Everett Sloan, Ret B. Chief Judge, stroked his snow-white mustache. "Miss, our insurance doesn't cover antiques bursting apart. You sure you're here to compete, not refurbish?" "Yes, sir." Her voice carried the tonal flatness of impact wrenches and late-night radio. She signed the waiver in 4 strokes, slung the rifle, and drifted toward the prep benches. Wren fired a parting shot. "Try not to strip the screws on the trigger grease, monkey." Another hubbub of chuckles, clinks of glass. Beyond the railing, the runway stretched 3 football fields to a plywood silhouette no wider than a matchbook. No scopes, no spotters, just iron sights and hubris. Lana set the rifle on the bench as if fitting a piston back into a block. She unpacked a roll of cloth pockets, hand-loaded cartridges gleaming dull brass, primer dimples all aligned like soldiers at parade rest. She thumbed one round after another into the magazine with mechanical rhythm. Clack, clack, clack. A lean woman in neon hearing protection swaggered over. Amelia Voss, Olympic bronze, 5 corporate sponsors, 6 million followers. Her rifle was a custom carbon build that looked more spaceship than firearm. "Sweetheart," she said, "the side events are sanding booths and lathe demos, row 3 of the expo tent. This lane is RSVP. Lana closed the bolt. "I RSVP'd. Amelia's grin went clinical. "Do you know what a 300-meter breeze does to a bullet? Even the math geniuses flinch." "I listen," Lana answered. Amelia raised an eyebrow. "To what?" "To everything." She turned away, short braid flicking a dark crescent in the air. Amelia scoffed and headed back to her entourage, muttering something about YouTube fails. Announcement speakers crackled. Qualifying heat alpha, shooters, Wren, Voss, Forge. Marcus Wren stepped onto lane 1. Cameras followed like loyal dogs. He inhaled, exhaled, squeezed. 10 shots hiccuped downrange, each bark precise as a stopwatch tick. The digital board flashed concentric reds, 10 hits inside a nickel. Applause rippled, money changed pockets, sponsors exhaled. Lane 2, Amelia Voss. Her rifle coughed space-age serenity. 9 perfect, 1 kissing the inner 9 ring. Not legendary, but safe. She fist-pumped, winked at a drone camera. Lane 3, Lana Forge. She removed her gloves and slipped them into a pocket. The wind slid across the runway, tugging at wisps of hair erupting from her bandana. Without warning, she kicked off her boots. Socks followed. Bare feet planted on cold concrete, toes flexing as if reading braille pulses from the earth. Colonel Sloan frowned. Regulations don't cover footwear, but... "I shoot better grounded," Lana said. Murmurs multiplied, bets doubling, hashtags blooming. A spectator with a diamond-studded lighter yelled, "Hey, Sally, forgot your shoes?" And almost burned himself laughing. Lana closed her eyes. The arena seemed to shrink until only the wind, her heartbeat, and the distant wooden silhouette existed. She inhaled slow through the nose, exhaled even slower. The chaos around her atomized, leaving minute frequencies. Flag cloth snapping, a drone rotor thrum, the faintest metallic tick from the target stand oscillating in the breeze. She raised the M39. Front sight post blurred, then sharpened into crystalline stillness. Her finger found the trigger, steel grown glossy under years of cleaning solvent. She pressed. Crack. Silence. Then the scoreboard dinged. Bullseye dead center. The front row froze, expressions caught between an insult and its punchline. Lana cycled the bolt. Crack. Ding. Bullseye. Crack. Ding. A hush pooled outward with every impact, drowning chatter, smothering wagers. Wren's confident smirk flattened. Amelia's jaw yo-yoed. On shot 6, a glass somewhere shattered. Someone's hand shaking at the wrong angle. Shot 8 punched the last untouched millimeter of red. By shot 9, Colonel Sloane's mustache looked like static on an old TV. Shot 10 landed, and the board painted a single shimmering dot where 10 had passed through the same wound. No applause followed, only that strange vacuum after an engine quits mid-flight. Lana lowered the rifle, slid the safety, and opened her eyes. They were calm, the color of fresh-oiled walnut. She picked up her boots, slung the M39, and padded across the asphalt toward the exit gate. Behind her, Marcus Wren finally exhaled something that wasn't words. Amelia Voss forgot to pose for the camera, and 100 privileged hearts tried to compute how grease-stained silence had just hacked their gospel. The billboard flickered, Wren's highlight reel glitching into pixelated doubt. Lana didn't look back. The wind carried a faint rattle from the distant target, like applause too shy to be heard. Night laid a purple hush over the Iron Range, but the story of a barefoot mechanic had already bled across every screen within 50 miles. Hotel bars replayed her 10-round miracle on loop. Comment threads erupted like magnesium. Half the guests believed she'd cheated with magnets, lasers, or divine intervention. The other half suspected something scarier, raw, unbranded skill. By dawn, the grandstands filled twice over, VIP bracelets issued in emergency crates. Marcus Wren arrived early, circles under his eyes, chalking excuses faster than cigarettes. Humidity shift, defective targets, faulty scoring software. Yet the fear that hissed behind every rationalization was simple. I can be beaten. The finale was scheduled for high noon, when thermal shimmer turned sight pictures into mirages. 3 shooters remained, Wren, Voss, and the wildcard Forge. The rules changed too, an authenticity clause drafted overnight. No shooter could leave the line once on station. Ammo inspections would be invasive. Any protest meant instant forfeit, officially to preserve fairness, unofficially to corner the barefoot anomaly. Backstage, an armorer named Cal Reyes rolled a cart of rifles past Lana. "Heads up," he whispered. "They're hunting angles. Someone ordered your bolt disassembled for safety proof." "Let them," Lana said, rolling her shoulders. She was humming, a low mechanical tune that sounded like a lathe spinning true. Across the hangar, Amelia Voss taped a brand new sponsor patch over yesterday's. She watched Lana through a mirror shard slid from her rifle case, guilt and ambition grappling in her gut. The night before, corporations had dangled endorsement upgrades if she could ensure Forge faltered. Nothing as explicit as sabotage. Just a nudge, a rumor, psychological warfare. Amelia had accepted the offer, then dreamt of greasy fingerprints blotting out her medals. Outside, bleachers buckled under bodies. A chant rose. "Iron, iron!" It wasn't for Wren anymore. It was for whatever unseen alloy lived inside the silent woman. Colonel Sloane convened the shooters at the ready line. "Weapon checks," he ordered. Wren surrendered his carbon masterpiece, Voss her starship, Lana her relic. The judges eyed the M39 like biohazard. Sloane extracted the bolt, sniffed, and stage whispered, "Smells like diesel." "Run smoother than perfume," Lana replied. They measured trigger pull, bore light, head space gauges. 20 minutes stretched, sun climbing. Sweat pooled in boots, except Lana's. She was barefoot again, toes feeling micro-vibrations of jet-age concrete warming under the sun. When Sloane found no deviance to weapon or ammo, he switched tactics. "Shooter Forge, footwear required for medical liability." "I'll sign the waiver," Lana said. A notary was summoned. Papers flourished. The delay tasted like victory in Wren's mouth. He smiled at cameras, mouthing, "She's rattled." Finally, the 3 were placed on neighboring pads. 100 spectators were allowed to crowd behind a waist-high barrier, close enough to taste cordite once the rifles barked. Drones hovered like mechanized hornets, ultra slow-motion lenses thirsting. Round 1. 10 shots each, standard stance. Ren fired first, bullet rhythm flawless. The board displayed 9 10s and 1 9. Good, not godly. Voss matched his scoreline for line, jaw set hard. Lana stepped up. Her first shot slapped the bull, so did the second. But as she cycled for the third, something snagged, bolt sticky, refusing battery. In the audience, someone snickered. The gunsmith's gun breaks. She inspected the round, a burr on the case rim, too deliberate to be accident. Sabotage. Without flinching, Lana ejected the round, letting it ping off concrete. She chambered another. Bull. Fourth, fifth. Bull. Bull. On the sixth, the wind veered, a rogue gust. Ren saw it, grinned. Her toes can't feel air. Yet her front sight drifted hairline left, compensating. Bull again. 10 for 10. 10-4. Cole Sloan's throat bobbed. The sabotage hadn't cracked her, it had only sharpened. He announced a 15-minute intermission before the sudden death finale. 1 shot at 400 meters, no practice pulls, and a 40-second time cap. A distance no one had faced all week. During the break, Amelia Voss drifted toward Lana, guilt outweighing paycheck. "It was Ren. He bribed a loader to mess your brass," she muttered. "I didn't stop it." Lana's gaze was level, unjudging. "Truth is a kind of repair, thanks." Amelia blinked, unexpected tears threatening mascara. She turned away, shoulders lighter, yet heavier. The target frames rolled farther down runway, a speck beyond a shimmer. The sun glared like molten tungsten. Time to shoot. Ren elected first position again, theatrically cracking his knuckles. The timer beeped. He inhaled, squeezed. The monitor pixelated, calculating. A 9-ring hit, 1 inch right of center. Crowd murmured. Not terrible, but vulnerable. Amelia next. Breathing ragged, she shouldered the carbon beam. 30 seconds chewed. She fired. 8-ring left. Audible groans followed. Sponsors' bets withered. Lana Forge. She set her rifle on the rest, then, wild, pulled from her pocket a black shop rag, folded twice, tied across her eyes. Gasps rose like geysers. "Timer starts now!" Sloan barked, voice cracking. Lana's world became engine hums and air whirl. She breathed. 30 seconds. 27. She tilted her head, reading wind by ear. The canvas flag flapped at 5 beats per second, about 8 miles an hour, quartering left. She angled, elevated 2 clicks in her mind because her sights were leaf spring iron, no turrets, all internal math. 15 seconds. She squeezed the trigger as if tightening a bolt to spec. The rifle barked. Silence. Digital screen froze, computing. A drone zoomed. Then the board erupted. 10-ring dead center, 1/4-inch cluster. The crowd became thunder breaking itself. Ren stared, slack-jawed. Amelia smiled through failure, both palms clapping until palms stung. Lana untied the rag. Brown eyes calm. She shouldered the rifle and faced Sloan. "Explain that!" the colonel croaked, half awe, half accusation. "My father taught aircraft by listening to engine pitch. He taught me bullets sing, too." A reporter shoved forward. "Name?" "Dane Forge," she said. Gasps darted. Dane Forge, legendary armorer and rumored creator of the first monolithic suppressor, missing after a classified test flight crash. Conspiracy channels worshipped him like Prometheus. Lana's existence rewrote half their lore. Ren's mouth twitched. "Your father built my rifle's barrel," he stammered. "Then he'd be disappointed how you aim it," Lana replied, tone even as plain steel. Sloan lifted her wrist, announcing champion. Cameras stitched a crown of shutters. She allowed it for 5 heartbeats, then pulled free. "You going to Disney?" a journalist quipped. "Back to the shop," she said. "Engines need tune-ups." Amelia intercepted her at the gate, pressing a carbon fiber torquey wrench into Lana's hand. "For when you build something new," she whispered. Lana accepted, eyes soft. Remember how truth repairs. Ren watched from the dais, trophy heavy yet meaningless. Sponsors retreated like tides, smelling obsolescence. He touched the barrel Dane Forge had crafted and wondered what music he'd never learned to hear. Lana walked barefoot across the blistering runway. Each step felt like home. Somewhere far off, a piston engine coughed, craving hands that listened. She smiled, the sun glinting off shop rag cloth, still warm with her pulse. Behind her, the Iron Range crowd kept cheering, but their noise was already small. A socket dropped on concrete, compared to the quiet thunder in her blood.